The great hall of the alien kingdom was filled with voices. Banners of the empire hung from the ceiling, shining gold and crimson under the crystal lights. Hundreds of alien nobles and generals gathered to discuss one subject, humanity. At the center sat the High Council, rulers of the kingdom for thousands of years. Their faces were proud and arrogant. They had crushed dozens of young species before. They had built an empire of stars. To them, humanity was nothing more than another primitive world to claim. One elder alien rose and spread his wings, his voice carrying across the chamber. Humans are reckless. They spread too quickly across the nearby systems. They build colonies with courage but without wisdom. They are ants crawling into places they do not belong. The nobles cheered at his words. Another general stepped forward, his armor heavy with metals. I say, we end this threat before it grows. They do not bow. They do not kneel. They speak of independence. That is dangerous for our rule. If we wait, they may become too strong. The High Lord of the Council raised his clawed hand. Silence fell across the hall. Shall we vote? He said coldly. Shall we decide the fate of Earth? One by one, the nobles and generals raised their hands, every single one in favor, not a single voice of doubt. The chamber roared with triumph. Far from the council chamber, a young alien messenger whispered to his friend, "They do not know what humans are truly like. I have seen reports, I have read about their wars. They fight with fire in their hearts, not with fear." But his friend laughed. Humans are weak, they are divided, they cannot resist the full might of the kingdom. Soon the command spread across the empire. Fleets were prepared. Massive warships built for conquest lined the docks. Their cannons glowed with energy, their hulls shining black against the stars. The people of the empire celebrated, believing another easy victory was coming. Across the galaxy, Earth received the message. It was simple and filled with arrogance. Surrender or be destroyed. Leaders of Earth gathered in secret chambers, scientists, soldiers, and strategists all around the table. On the surface, humanity appeared silent, giving no answer. To the alien eyes, it looked like fear, but in the hidden depths of Earth's defense network, plans were already moving. Human warships sat cloaked in shadows, fleets waiting in silence. Technology that no alien suspected had been built, tested, and perfected. Humanity had hidden its true strength for years. General Alvarez of Earth leaned over the table, his eyes calm but sharp. They think we are weak, he said. They will come with pride. They will come with arrogance, and that will be their downfall. The Council of Earth nodded in silence. In space above Earth, the night sky sparkled as always, but hidden among the stars were shadows that did not belong. The alien fleet was already on the move. The kingdom's war drums thundered across the void. Billions of aliens trusted their rulers. They believed humans would bend, just as so many species had done before. But on Earth, a quiet determination burned in every heart. Farmers still worked their fields, children still played in schools, and soldiers sharpened their blades. Humanity did not show fear. Humanity prepared in silence. Humanity waited. Back in the alien capital, the High Lord stood before his people. His voice was filled with pride. The humans shall fall, their world will burn, their ships will crumble, and our glory will grow even greater. The crowd roared, banners waved, drums pounded, but deep inside the stars, far away from their prideful eyes, a new chapter of history was about to begin. For when they chose to invade Earth, they did not know he storm that waited for them. They did not know that their kingdom was walking into its own destruction. The fleets of the empire gathered, the vote was finished, the command was given, the invasion of Earth had begun. The alien fleet moved like a storm across the stars. Hundreds of colossal ships formed a wall of steel and fire. Their banners of the kingdom fluttered on every transmission. To the galaxy it looked unstoppable. To the empire it felt inevitable. Earth was just the next world to kneel. When the fleet entered the Sol system, silence filled the void. Their commander, Lord Veyron, looked upon the blue planet with scorn. His voice thundered through the comms. People of Earth, surrender, bow before the kingdom, and your world will be spared. The message echoed across Earth. Millions held their breath. The world's media played the alien demand again and again. Some civilians trembled, some prayed, some cursed. But the leaders of Earth gave no reply. The silence stretched. Lord Veyron smirked. They are paralyzed with fear, he told his officers. They know resistance is hopeless. The alien nobles aboard the flagship laughed. They raised their cups of shining liquid, celebrating the victory before the battle had even begun. But in secret chambers beneath Earth's surface, the silence was not fear, it was calculation. President Okoye leaned forward in the underground command center, her eyes sharp. "Let them believe we are afraid," she whispered. "Let them taste their pride." Generals nodded. Scientists checked final systems. Engineers whispered that the fleets were ready. Humanity played the waiting game. The aliens, impatient, sent smaller ships into orbit. They expected humans to beg, but instead of pleas, they found silence. The cities below glowed with life, but no transmissions came. Confusion spread among the alien officers. "Why do they not speak?" one asked. "Why do they not surrender?" another wondered. Lord Varon grew angry. "Destroy one of their satellites, show them our power." A blast shot through the sky. A human satellite crumbled in fire. The galaxy watched through hidden eyes, expecting humanity to scream, but still Earth said nothing. Beneath the oceans, in hidden bases, Earth's fleet stirred. Sleek warships, black as the void, rose from the shadows, cloaking systems active, silent as ghosts. Their weapons charged with energy unknown to the alien empire. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Finally, Earth spoke. A single transmission cut through the alien channels. A voice calm, deep, and unshaken. "You came here with arrogance," the message said. "You believe we are weak, but you have made the greatest mistake of your kingdom's history." The words struck like thunder. The alien council aboard the flagship froze. Their laughter ended. Their smiles vanished. Officers glanced nervously at one another. Some even felt the first twinges of fear. "They dare to threaten us," Lord Varon roared, slamming his clawed fist on the table. "Crush them now." Alien fleets moved into formation. Cannons charged. The first volley of fire rained down toward Earth's defenses. Explosions lit the skies. The ground trembled. Civilians across the world stared upward, believing the end had come. But then, the sky itself seemed to tear open. From the darkness of space, hidden portals of light appeared. Out of them came the human fleet, massive warships, forged in secret shipyards beyond Pluto, armored with alloys the aliens had never seen, engines glowing brighter than stars. One alien officer whispered, his voice shaking, "This cannot be. They were not supposed to have fleets. They were not supposed to have weapons like this." The human fleet did not fire immediately. They moved with precision, surrounding the alien ships. Their silence was more terrifying than any weapon. Then a single command echoed across every human channel, "Engage." Lasers cut through the void. Human torpedoes sliced into alien hulls. Entire enemy cruisers exploded in brilliant fire. Alien soldiers screamed through comms. They had believed the humans would beg, but now they were the prey. Lord Varon shouted in fury, "Fight back, destroy them." But his fleet was already breaking, their formations crumbling under the unexpected human power. For every human ship destroyed, 3 alien ships burned. The Empire had underestimated the very species they thought weak. On Earth, the people cheered as news came through hidden broadcasts. "Our fleets are holding, our fleets are winning." Humanity, for the first time in centuries, stood united as one voice. But deep inside the alien flagship, whispers began. "The Council was wrong," an officer muttered. "This war is folly. This invasion is cursed." Lord Varon silenced him with a blade, but the fear in the crew's eyes remained. The battle raged, explosions tearing across the stars. What began as arrogance was now becoming desperation. Humanity had revealed its hidden strength, and the kingdom had stepped into a trap of its own making. The void was alive with fire. Alien ships burned one after another. Their commanders shouted desperate orders, but the formations of the mighty kingdom were broken. Human fleets moved like hunters through the dark, precise and relentless. On the alien flagship, Lord Varon's pride began to crack. He slammed his clawed hand on the command table. "How can this be?" he shouted. "How can humans resist our glory?" His officers looked at one another, but none dared to answer. They knew the truth. Humanity was no longer the weak prey they had imagined. From the shadows of Saturn's rings, another wave of human ships emerged. These were not ordinary warships. They carried weapons never seen before, cannons that bent light, missiles that twisted through shields like knives through paper. The first volley struck. Entire alien cruisers vanished in flashes of blue fire. Panic spread the alien ranks. "They have weapons beyond our knowledge," one captain screamed. "They should not have this technology," another cried. Some ships tried to retreat, but humanity had already sealed the exits. Warp lanes were blocked, gravity traps had been deployed. The aliens were trapped in a cage of their own arrogance. General Alvarez stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship Resolute. His voice was calm, his eyes hard. "Do not let them escape. Show them the price of their pride." Human officers nodded, engines roared, cannons fired. Humanity struck again and again. Alien officers begged Lord Veyron for retreat. "We must fall back, regroup, warn the Council." But Veyron roared with fury. "No retreat, crush them. We are the kingdom, we do not bow to primitives." His pride blinded him, but his fleet was already falling apart. In the chaos, human soldiers boarded several alien ships. Silent black dropships cut through the battlefield. Docking on enemy hulls, Marines stormed the corridors, weapons blazing. They fought with a fire that shook the aliens to their core. One alien officer gasped as a human soldier ripped the banner of the kingdom from the wall and tossed it into the flames. "They fight like demons," he whispered in terror. On Earth, civilians watched secret transmissions of the battle. Families huddled in dark rooms, seeing alien warships fall in real time. Cheers erupted when the first enemy flagship exploded. For the first time in human history, all nations, all people, felt united as one. They no longer saw themselves as weak. They saw themselves as conquerors of their own destiny, but humanity was not reckless. Alvarez knew this was only the beginning. He turned to his officers. "They will call for reinforcements. They will send more fleets. We must break their spirit here and now, strike where it hurts most." A map of the alien fleet glowed before them. Alvarez pointed to the heart of their command structure. "Take the flagship." The Resolute and her escorts cut a burning path through the battlefield. Alien ships threw themselves in the way, desperate to protect their commander, but humans were ruthless. Ship after ship fell until the path was clear. Inside the alien flagship, fear spread like wildfire. Officers whispered behind Veyron's back, "The humans are everywhere. We cannot win this. This war will end our kingdom." Some even thought of mutiny, but Veyron's blade kept them silent. Still, their eyes betrayed the truth. Doubt had poisoned their loyalty. Then it happened. A human strike wing dove straight into the heart of the alien formation. Their fighters moved like lightning, weaving between fire. A sudden explosion shook the command deck. The alien crew stared at the screen in disbelief. Their secondary flagship had been destroyed in a single coordinated strike. Veyron's claws trembled. "Impossible," he whispered. For the first time, the great commander felt fear. From the Resolute, Alvarez broadcasted a message across every channel, his voice calm, sharp, and deadly. "You chose to invade Earth. You chose to test our strength. Now you will learn why humanity cannot be conquered." The words struck deeper than any weapon. Across the alien fleet, soldiers listened. Some felt their courage break. Some even thought of surrender. The arrogance of the kingdom was shattering piece by piece. Explosions thundered across the void. Flames consumed the banners of the empire. Humanity's hidden strength had been revealed, and the war that was meant to be quick and easy had become a nightmare for the invaders. But Alvarez knew the war was not yet won. He looked out at the burning battlefield and whispered, "This is only the beginning." The battlefield above Earth burned with fire and broken ships. Wreckage drifted like dead stars. Alien fleets that once looked invincible now floated in chaos. Their proud formations shattered, their banners torn and scattered. Humanity struck again and again, relentless. On the flagship Resolute, General Alvarez watched with sharp eyes. "They are faltering," he said quietly. "Now we push." Orders spread like wildfire across the human fleets. Squadrons dove into the heart of enemy lines, cutting through with precision. Alien commanders screamed through fractured comms, "Hold the line, defend the flagship." But their voices cracked with fear. Ships collided, formations collapsed. Some captains disobeyed orders and tried to flee. Their engines flared as they raced for escape, but humanity had already sealed the exits with gravity traps. Inside the alien flagship, Lord Veyron's pride cracked into rage. "Cowards," he roared, striking down one of his officers with his blade. "You will fight until your last breath. This kingdom was built on blood. It will not end here." His words thundered, but his crew no longer believed. Their eyes were filled with doubt. From the dark of space, hidden human weapons revealed themselves. Mines that bent light into mirrors, decoys that turned enemy fire back on itself. The alien fleet found itself firing upon its own ships, confusion spreading faster than any weapon. Aboard Earth, leaders watched the feed from command. President Okoye leaned over the glowing table, her voice steady. "They underestimated us. Now we show them that Earth bows to no kingdom." Generals nodded, engineers adjusted coordinates. Every part of humanity's defense machine moved like a single living creature. The aliens tried one final tactic. They gathered their remaining dreadnoughts into a wedge formation, planning to pierce through and destroy Earth's defense grid. If they could land even one crushing blow, perhaps fear would return to humanity, but Alvarez anticipated it. They are desperate. Break their wedge, scatter them into nothing. Human fleets shifted with flawless timing. Turs and corvettes swarmed like a storm, cutting through the gaps. Torpedoes slammed into the wedge, and the dreadnoughts exploded one by one. The once proud spear of the kingdom was reduced to ash. A silence fell across the alien channels. It was not the silence of discipline. It was the silence of despair. On ships across the fleet, officers looked to their captains and asked the forbidden question, should we surrender? On the flagship, Veyron's face darkened. He had never known fear, but now he felt it clawing at his chest. "We will not yield to humans," he hissed. But his voice no longer carried power. His crew no longer followed with conviction. At that moment, Alvarez opened the human channels to the entire alien fleet. His voice cut through every calm and merciless. "You came to Earth with arrogance. You came to destroy us. But you will leave with nothing. Your kingdom ends here. Remember this day." The words struck like a blade. Some alien captains shut down their weapons, refusing to fight. Others wept in silence. The empire that had ruled the stars for centuries was watching its glory burn. Across the galaxy, hidden observers recorded everything. Other species who had once feared the kingdom now whispered in awe, "The humans are not weak. The humans are the storm." The battle raged on, but the tide had turned fully. Humanity fought with precision, their ships moving like dancers through fire. Every strike was devastating, every move perfectly calculated. Veyron tried one last desperate gamble. He ordered his flagship to charge directly at the Resolute. Its cannons roared, fire filled the void. The alien flagship was massive, built to dominate any battlefield. Its shadow loomed over the human fleet. But Alvarez did not flinch. "Bring it down," he commanded. Human warships surrounded the flagship like wolves around a wounded beast. Missiles tore into its shields, cannons ripped through its armor, flames erupted from its hull. Inside the alien bridge, chaos spread. Officers screamed. Smoke filled the chamber, sparks rained from broken panels. The mighty flagship of the kingdom was breaking apart. Veyron clutched his blade, eyes wide with disbelief. "This cannot be," he whispered. "We are the kingdom. We cannot fall to humans." But outside, the Resolute fired one final volley. The alien flagship erupted in a blinding explosion, its wreckage scattering across the stars. The symbol of the Empire's pride was gone. Cheers erupted across human fleets. Across Earth, billions cried out in triumph. The impossible had been done. Humanity had turned the tide. But Alvarez's eyes were still cold. He knew this was only the beginning. The kingdom still stretched across thousands of worlds. They would not accept this defeat quietly. He turned to his officers and said, "Tonight, we proved Earth is no one's prey. Tomorrow, we will show the galaxy what humanity truly is." News of the flagship's destruction spread faster than light. Across the alien empire, entire worlds trembled. The kingdom that once seemed eternal now felt fragile. Its subjects whispered in markets, in barracks, in temples. The humans destroyed the flagship. The humans defeated the royal fleet. On frontier colonies, soldiers who had once marched proudly under the kingdom's banner began to doubt. Some threw down their weapons, refusing to fight. Others secretly sent messages to Earth. "We do not wish to be your enemies. We wish to be free. In the alien capital, the High Council met in panic. The grand hall that once echoed with confidence now shook with fear. Nobles shouted at each other, blaming one another for the disaster. It was Lord Veyron's arrogance, one cried. No, it was the council's blindness, another roared. For the first time in centuries, unity among the rulers had shattered. Meanwhile, humanity did not stop. Alvarez knew hesitation would be deadly. From the bridge of the Resolute, he commanded the fleets, strike deeper, do not give them time to recover. Every world that bows to the kingdom must know Earth stands against them. Human fleets surged outward, attacking key supply lines. They cut off trade routes. They destroyed weapon depots. Entire sectors of the kingdom went dark within days. Alien governors sent desperate pleas to the capital. We cannot hold. Our people are rising against us. Indeed, rebellions were spreading like fire. On one alien mining world, workers smashed the statues of the royal family, shouting, "If humans can fight them, so can we." On another, enslaved species rose up, taking control of their cities. The kingdom had ruled through fear, but now that fear had turned against them. Back on Earth, celebrations filled every city. But President Okoye spoke carefully. This victory is not the end. This is the beginning of a storm. The kingdom will send more fleets. They will not forgive us. But now the galaxy knows humanity is not weak. We must be ready for the next strike. Her words echoed through the hearts of billions, and humanity stood more united than ever before. In the alien capital, the royal family hid behind their golden walls. Servants whispered of assassination attempts. Soldiers grumbled in the streets. The royal heir looked to his father. "We cannot defeat them," he said softly. "We must make peace." But the king's eyes burned with rage. Peace is surrender, and I will never bow to humans. His stubborn pride pushed the empire further into ruin. As rebellions spread, human fleets liberated planets once enslaved. On one such world, an old alien leader bowed before Alvarez. For generations we suffered under the kingdom, but today we are free because of humanity. His words spread across the stars, turning humanity into a symbol of hope. But Alvarez was cautious. He turned to his officers. "We must not let victory blind us. We have wounded the beast, but it is not dead. It will strike back with fury." His warning proved true. In secret chambers, remnants of the alien fleet gathered. Admirals who still clung to pride vowed revenge. "We will raise a new armada. We will burn Earth to ash," they swore. But even among them, doubt spread, for they knew their empire was crumbling. Meanwhile, spies reported shocking news. Entire worlds once loyal to the kingdom were declaring independence. One by one, they cut ties, refusing to pay tribute, refusing to fight. The empire's map, once endless, now cracked into pieces. The galaxy watched in awe. For centuries, the kingdom had been feared. But now, a young species from a single blue world had shattered its illusion of power. Across distant stars, voices whispered the same words. If humans can defeat the kingdom, maybe the galaxy has changed forever. Back on Earth, Alvarez stood at the command deck looking at the stars. His heart carried both pride and burden. "We have struck down their fleet. We have broken their rule, but war is not finished. The kingdom will not die quietly." His eyes narrowed. "We must be ready for their final move." The alien empire, once a colossus, was bleeding from every wound, its people rising against it, its fleet scattered, its council divided. Humanity had not just defended Earth, they had cracked the foundation of a galactic power. But in the shadows of the capital, as riots thundered in the streets, the king whispered to his last loyal generals, "We will strike at Earth with everything we have left. Even if it destroys us, we will not be forgotten." And so the stage was set for the final reckoning. The kingdom was collapsing, but a cornered beast was still dangerous. Humanity had won the first great victory, but the deadliest battles were still to come. The galaxy had changed. What was once impossible had become reality. The kingdom's fleets lay in ruins, its colonies in rebellion, and its once proud banners now burned on worlds they once ruled. And at the center of this storm stood Earth. Humanity was no longer a hidden voice in the galaxy. Humanity had become a symbol. On the bridge of the Resolute, General Alvarez listened to reports. Planet after planet was rising. Entire sectors had declared independence. Some even begged for human protection. "They look to us," one officer said quietly. "They see us as hope." Alvarez nodded, but his expression stayed hard. Hope is heavy. If we take this mantle, we must carry it with strength. President Okoye addressed the United Council of Earth, her voice calm but fierce. We were once seen as weak. We were once called prey. But today, the galaxy knows the truth. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not break. And if any kingdom dares to test us again, they will fall just as this one has fallen. Her words echoed across the stars, broadcast to allies, rebels, and even enemies. In the alien capital, chaos deepened. The High Council was fractured beyond repair. Nobles fought in the streets, soldiers deserted, and riots consumed the markets. The royal palace was surrounded by fire and anger. The king shouted to his guards, "Hold the gates! Hold them until the last!" But even his most loyal warriors felt the ground shifting. The royal heir, young and ambitious, saw the weakness in his father. He whispered to the generals, "This war is folly. If we continue, the kingdom dies. We must remove the king. We must make peace with humanity." Some generals nodded, their eyes filled with desperation. Betrayal had entered the heart of the palace. Meanwhile, human fleets struck deeper into alien space. They targeted communication hubs, fuel depots, and military strongholds. Every strike shattered more of the Empire's control. Rebel groups cheered as human ships entered their skies, waving the banners of Earth as a sign of freedom. In one sector, an alien general surrendered without a fight, kneeling before Alvarez's officers. "We once called you primitive," he said, "but you have shown us who you truly are. If the kingdom cannot rule, perhaps it is humanity's time." His words spread like wildfire, shocking the Empire even more than battle itself. Back on Earth, humanity celebrated, cities lit up with fireworks, crowds filled the streets, children held flags of Earth. But amid the joy, Okoye reminded the people, "We are strong, yes, but strength brings responsibility. If we rise too fast, we may fall just as they did. We must learn from the kingdom's arrogance, not repeat it." In the alien palace, betrayal finally struck. The heir led soldiers into the throne room. The king roared with fury, drawing his blade. "You would betray your blood," he shouted, but the heir's eyes were cold. "You already betrayed us all when you chose to invade Earth." Steel clashed in the Golden Hall. And when it was over, the king lay silent. The heir stepped onto the throne, announcing himself as the new ruler. His first command was desperate. "Send word to Earth. Send word to their general. We will negotiate." But even as he spoke, explosions rocked the capital. Rebels stormed the streets, shouting for freedom. The kingdom's days were numbered. From the bridge of the Resolute, Alvarez watched as transmissions poured in, some from rebels calling him a savior, some from governors offering allegiance. Humanity was no longer a target. It was becoming a leader. But Alvarez felt the weight pressing heavier. He looked to his officers. "If we are to rise as a power, we must be different. We must be better than the kingdom we destroy." The galaxy trembled. The empire that once ruled with iron was cracking apart, and in the vacuum, humanity's shadow stretched wider and wider. Some feared it, some embraced it, but none could ignore it. On the battlefield of politics and power, humanity had become more than defenders of Earth. They had become architects of the galaxy's future, but in the shadows, whispers of vengeance still lingered. Not all loyalists had fallen. Deep in hidden systems, fleets were gathering. Scarred admirals swore oaths of revenge. "We will strike Earth again," they vowed. "We will remind them that even in defeat, the kingdom's fire still burns." Alvarez knew it too. He looked into the stars and said quietly, "The war is not finished. It has only changed shape, and humanity must be ready to face what comes next." The kingdom was breaking. Humanity was rising. The galaxy itself stood at the edge of a new era, and the final reckoning had yet to come. The galaxy held its breath. The once mighty kingdom was crumbling, its fleets broken, its colonies in rebellion, its throne bathed in betrayal. But a cornered beast is still dangerous, and even in ruin, the kingdom's loyalists plotted their final strike. Deep within a hidden system, scarred admirals gathered their last fleets, dozens of battered warships, veterans of the defeats at Earth. They swore an oath of vengeance. "We will burn their blue planet, even if it costs us everything." Humanity will not be remembered as victors. They will be remembered as ash. Whispers of this final armada reached Earth. On the Resolute, General Alvarez studied the reports. His officers looked uneasy. They gather everything they have left, one said. They will throw it all at us, another added. It will be their last strike, but it may be enough to wound us. Alvarez's face was calm, but his voice was like steel. Then we end it here. This war began with their pride. It will end with our resolve. He ordered every fleet to prepare. Stations across Earth roared with activity. Engineers checked weapons. Pilots sealed their helmets. Soldiers stood ready. Humanity was not afraid. Humanity was ready. The enemy came like a storm. The last royal fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. Their ships were scarred but massive. Their cannons glowed with desperate fury. They moved straight toward Earth, willing to sacrifice everything for vengeance. Civilly, Ans watched the skies in silence. Cities dimmed their lights. Families held each other close. They knew this was the last battle. The fate of Earth and the galaxy would be decided in the void above. The Resolute led the human defense. Alvarez's voice carried through every channel. Soldiers of Earth, today we do not fight only for survival. We fight to end the chains of an empire that ruled in arrogance. Today we show the galaxy that humanity is not prey. Humanity is the storm. Cheers erupted through the comms. Fear turned to fire. Resolve filled every heart. The battle began. The alien fleet charged with reckless fury. Their cannons unleashed fire that shook the stars. Explosions lit the void, but humanity's fleet stood firm. Shields flared, formations held. Fighters swarmed like hornets, weaving through the enemy lines. The aliens pressed harder. They had nothing left to lose. Ship after ship threw itself into suicidal attacks, ramming, exploding, trying to drag human warships into death. But humanity had learned. Humanity adapted. They countered with precision, pulling apart every desperate move. In the heart of the battle, the alien royal flagship advanced, larger than any ship humanity had faced. Its hull burned with ancient markings of the Empire. Its cannons glowed with power stolen from 100 conquered worlds. This was the last shadow of the kingdom's pride. Alvarez fixed his eyes on it. Target the flagship, break their spirit once and for all. Human fleets shifted like a blade, cutting straight toward the colossal ship. Explosions thundered as escorts fell. Fighters clawed their way forward. Torpedoes tore into the enemy's shields. The flagship trembled but pressed on. Inside the alien throne room aboard the ship, the new heir screamed orders, his voice filled with madness. Destroy them. Destroy Earth. Even if we all die, let the galaxy burn with us. But even his crew no longer believed. Some hesitated. Some wept. Fear had devoured loyalty. Finally, the Resolute came within range. Its cannons roared with blinding light. The alien flagship shuddered, its armor cracking. Explosions ripped through its decks. Fire spread across its towers. The heir fell to his knees, whispering, "This cannot be the end. Not to humans." Alvarez gave the final command, "Fire." A storm of missiles and lasers struck the flagship. In one final explosion brighter than a sun, the last symbol of the kingdom vanished. Its ashes scattered into the endless night. The battlefield fell silent. Alien ships that survived powered down their weapons. Many surrendered. Some fled into the darkness, but none still carried hope. The kingdom was gone. Across Earth, cheers erupted. Billions wept and shouted as the news spread. Children waved flags. Soldiers embraced. Humanity had not only survived, humanity had triumphed. But Alvarez did not smile. He stood on the bridge and looked into the stars. "The war is over," he said, "but our journey has just begun. Today we destroyed a kingdom. Tomorrow we must decide what kind of power we will become." His words were carried across Earth, a reminder that victory was not only glory, but responsibility. In the alien capital, flames consumed the golden palaces. The people no longer spoke of their rulers. They spoke of humanity, of the storm that came from Earth and shattered the unbreakable, and in the quiet of the galaxy, whispers spread from star to star. The humans rose from a single world, and they destroyed an empire. Some feared them, some admired them, but none could ignore them. The final reckoning was complete. The kingdom had fallen, humanity had risen, and the galaxy would never be the same again.